Robert, we've been doing this for many, many years, and we've spent quite a bit of time discussing the transformation of the debt management in Indonesia over the course probably of the last 5-6 years, I'd say. And it's been a very interesting journey. One of the things that we saw, well, I'll just quickly jumped in now, is to look at what you've done last year, right? You had a conventional at the beginning of last year, and then you had Sukuk, the largest Sukuk, single tranche Sukuk, in May, 2 billion in the middle of the year, and then at the end of the year, you suddenly front-loaded with a conventional, 3.5 billion, which was very successfully accepted by the market. I wonder, when you think about your approach and looking at last year in particular, what were the things that were going through your mind as you looked at the market?
Last year was a tough year for us in terms of securing financing for our budget. At the beginning of the year, January up to April is still okay, but suddenly volatility
kicked in.
Yeah. And suddenly liquidity was not there. There were so many issues. So, but after about the completion of 2015, we were quite happy. I mean, the front-loading strategy in 2015 was a very right decisions. Otherwise, we would be in trouble in 2015. I remember, I think, in the first semester, we executed over 64% of what we need from our original target. And also last year, we experienced that the tax revenue was not as much as anticipated. So towards the end of the year, we also basically our target is moving. And for your information, actually, last year was the first time that my target is moving. Prior to that, the government is not allowed to issue bonds exceeding the amount that was spelled out in the budget.
That's right.
However, in 2015, in the budget law, it was stated, in case there is a deficit widening, not due to the expanding of the expenditure, then the government is allowed to incur more, enlarge the deficit. So last year, my target was moving.
So the market was moving, Robert's market was moving, and your target was moving. If you are a CFO, that's pretty challenging, Robert,
So, but it was, finally we did it towards the end, and the deficit was widening
it crossed over
2.53%.
53%.
Almost, basically, my financing was targeting at 2.9% actually. Because of our targeting is based on the outlook. But luckily, the realization is 2.53. But in all, I mean, we are quite happy. Last year, our conventional contribution is 76% of overall issuance. Islamic issuance last year, for the first time, contribute 24% of my overall issuance, which was the first time ever. I mean, before that, it's only around 17-18%. So last year also was.
So today we're talking about the Sukuk market and the proportion that in your office actually. The proportion that your office now actually play in the Islamic finance market in Indonesia has become so significant. In fact, it's last year for the first time, it's more significant than the Islamic banking assets in Indonesia. So the role of the debt management office is very important. When Robert, when you think about conventional versus Sukuk, what goes through your mind? I know that you did the 2 billion US, and then of course you had the 21.96 trillion rupiah local currency.
Islamic financing in our issuance is becoming more important in terms of portions and also in terms of size. Last year, first time, like I said, we issue 119 trillion sukuk, sovereign sukuk. Mostly around 30% is in project-based sukuk, and then global sukuk, and then retail sukuk. If I look at the history of sukuk issuance from the Republic of Indonesia, we started in 2008.
That's right.
Very small, but consistently we were present in the market, even though in the beginning we had to pay a bigger price because...
It was double digit, I remember at the time.
And yeah, double digit and more expensive from the conventional.
Yes.
In the past, sometimes I have to pay a premium, even 40 basis points higher than the conventional. But nowadays, it's getting less and less, towards 10 basis points.
Yeah.
But the growth of sukuk issuance last year, the 119 trillion was significant because it grew 50% from the previous years.
Yeah.
So, meaning... After a while, the liquidity is getting there. In our auctions, more and more are getting comfortable with our sukuk issuance. In our last auctions, also in 2016, I can see that oversubscribe is getting higher from the sukuk issuance. So the role of sukuk in the government is getting more important. Currently, the outstanding sukuk from the Republic of Indonesia is 306 trillion, around 10% from the total 3,000 debt, around 14% from the total outstanding government securities. And this year, I'm looking forward that sukuk should contribute at least 24% from my gross issuance. So it is getting there, and we are consistent. 23 times we will do auctions for local currency sukuks in Indonesia, and then we will also issue global US dollar sukuk. Last year, as you mentioned, we are the largest sovereign issuance of 2 billion. So we are looking forward that this year it should be at least that size.
Yeah.
And sukuk retail also is successful. So.